sound on in Spaces. We'll let the room fill in a little bit. We're on live. We're live video. There you are. I see Craig there. We'll invite you up to co-host. Feel free to invite anyone up that you need to.
Cool.
The End is Pie is going to be invited up as a speaker as well. Token looking wonderful like always. I'll let the room fill in for a minute or two here. We do have live video. I will put on Novo verse. There we are, live video. I can wave to people. Thank you to all my friends listening in Spaces right now. You can watch above. There's a link above that takes you into the Novo verse. It also might be streamed live as well on a couple other formerly known as Twitter handles, but X handles up there. I'm going to give it another minute for the room to fill in, but feel free, you can watch above. The voices that you hear will be different people speaking through my microphone because we are multicasting, and so we don't have an echo, so all the voices will come through the host right here. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask. We'll kind of do the same format. We'll start off with Rob, and at 9:30 Central, which is in 28 minutes from now, we have a POAP to give out, and people who have the POAP could possibly win free comic books. So
Yep.
And then Rob, maybe when you start talking about it, I might try to generate that, like, win a free comic book with the POAP.
Okay.
So I'll try to like pound that out when that's happening. But want to welcome down there. Chris is listening. Wayne, welcome. Listen, feel free to retweet the room. Shift HLM. Your senpai. Thank you. You can see up on the top on the pinned tweet right there is the Novoverse Paris Shilton NFT, where this is part 2, episode 187. Yep, that's right. Been here for a while. Crypto Novo back again with JR Token, who's trying to get his filter up and running. We'll get his sound up and running here possibly in a minute. Craig's Coin Purse as well back. We're going to be talking Friend Tech, and then also just adding to the conversation because Mega Collector. And then also Rob, the inventor of the End is Pie, End of the World Pizza, where this, it's coming up 5 days. It's always the rundown. I'm always see the people right before the runway into their big release here. But I want to welcome all my aliens, apes, and zombies. I am Crypto Novo. Once again, you can listen right now here in Twitter Spaces, and formerly known as Twitter. And then you can also watch up top, but want to welcome back a guest again this week. Rob, how have you been from last week to this week? I see that you've been working hard. Lots of awesome tweets out there. The final runway to the end of your roadmap and a successful story within the NFT world where a project is following through with the roadmap with happy fans.
Right.
Awesome, physical comic books. Saw the gold foil comic cover, the variant cover for it. There's only 100 of those. I saw pictures of that, which are actually showing right now. So how has it been, Rob, for the final countdown before minting day?
It's pretty good. Like, everything's going pretty well and everything's pretty smooth. We've got a lot that we're going to be doing. We're going to do the comic book drop. And because it is a physical item, you're going to have an AR shop that you can go to redeem your NFTs to get it. And we're also going to have other stuff in the shop. We're going to have T-shirts that are AR, like the one I'm wearing here. It's an actual shirt you can buy, and when you look at it in AR, it's a three-dimensional world with skulls rotating around it. And I'll probably preview that next week. So we got shirts, we've got prints and stickers, and then obviously the comic books are going to be there too. And then we're also launching a metaverse with Spatial, where you can go and actually find a demo of the comic where you can get the pages, get the first 5 pages of the book, and you can go to the Arcade of the Dead and dress up as one of the main characters of the book. So there's going to be a lot of fun stuff to do in there. There's cars you can drive, well, at least one car so far. So yeah, we've got a lot of stuff happening this Friday, and I'm excited.
Perfect for the holiday that is coming up in the United States here, Halloween, where you get to dress up AR filter wise, using the best tech in the industry, based around comic book. And also want to bring in Craig from Craig's Coin Purse, who's also a collector. That's how he kind of got started within his realms of also collecting cryptocurrencies and staying up to date in the latest tech. But Craig, have you, I know you've been into cards, correct? But you ever comic books at all? You ever collected comic books?
Yeah, comic books I did as well. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
any favorite comic books from like growing up? Because I mean, right now, I mean, what I love to see is how technology is changing. Older industries, including print industry, and how we're able to take something in print, physical form, but then also add layers of technology, hence AR filters on top of it. But any comic books back in the day that just ring a bell or nostalgia for you? Were you an X-Men fan from what I remember?
Yeah. X-Men was the cards and the comics I mainly collected. So yeah, the comics for me, one that probably really stood out was X-Men and in the Wolverine. It was kind of appeared in a fair few comics at the same time, where Wolverine had his adamantium ripped out off his bones by Magneto back in the day. So that little storyline for me was one I can remember as a kid that I thought was pretty gnarly, pretty cool, pretty violent. But yeah, X-Men, massive X-Men fan, massive.
And I remember, you just said about the X-Men cards as well. And I remember the first generation, or the rare issues had the holograms, and
Yeah.
you had. I remember it was Green Goblin, Silver Surfer, Captain America, Spider-Man, and maybe it was Wolverine or Punisher. I can't remember that series one, or maybe there's another villain that I can't remember. But this is what it reminded me and triggered me when I saw the gold foil variant released. Was it 3 or 4 days ago by you, Rob? Rob, did you have a favorite comic book, or what started you on your comic book, either collecting path or creating path, for either or?
So growing up, I read like Spider-Man was the big one, and then I like Spawn by Todd McFarlane. He started doing Spider-Man, and then he started Image Comics, which was like a huge thing for me when I was growing up. Like that whole thing was happening. And then as I got older, I think I like fell out of comic books for a little bit, but then I really got into like manga and like Otomo and Akira from the movie, and then realizing like that it's a book. So that's like where my headspace is now, is I read a lot of like Japanese stuff that's like translated for America. It's a lot more violent, but I don't know. It's like, it's really satisfying to see like the level of detail that people put into it. And I feel like Japan is like ahead of us in America by like 10 years in terms of like their styling and their things that they do with sci-fi. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm interested in now. But there's also like, I don't know, there's so many things that are coming out now. So it's hard to just pick one thing.
JR Token, I want to get a mic check. I haven't heard if you're working right now. And
it should be working.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful. Because
Yeah.
I mean, what I'm looking at with your AR filter right now, which you can look up above in the pinned tweet if you're listening in Spaces, is very
Anime style.
Bingo.
Sure.
Bingo,
Yep.
bingo. So, do you have any? Is there any influence with you with either comic book or collecting from either your childhood or maybe in your Web3 realm here?
Sure. I had tons of collections. I had comic books from X-Men, tons of Marvel, some DC stuff. Heavy metal was awesome. I think Rob, you had a heavy metal cover, right? You did a
I had
heavy
2 of
metal
them,
cover?
yeah.
And not too shabby. Pretty sick. Yeah, that's a big deal. But heavy metal stuff was really cool. But then I had like Magic card collections, Pod collections, X-Men card collections, and then that was kind of like, I guess that was kind of for my collecting phase. And I was just talking about it earlier, how like I'm just really upset that my mother threw out a lot of stuff thinking that it was worthless. And I'm like, God, well, that would have been something. But probably my last collection like phase was and still is enamel pins, like lapel pins. So
Nice.
I like getting
Yes.
like really cool artistic or nostalgic lapel pins, like things that are playful, fun, new, not necessarily like official things, but like fun, crazy stuff. So I have a huge collection of different enamel pins that have like, you know, some are comics, some are video game based, some are food, weird shit. But then that was my next transition into NFTs, because it was like, oh, digital pins, basically. does a lot cooler stuff.
You can watch us live now on my Twitter handle, on Craig's Coin Purse Twitter handle as well. We are streaming a whole bunch of air filters hanging out. We're talking about air filter comic book, which is going to be coming to OpenSea on Friday, and you have a chance to win one with either a POAP from last week's show or a POAP that you can get this week. In about 18 minutes to be exact.
Nice.
So look alive for that POAP, and you can have your hands on one of these creations. And Rob, why don't you tell us a little bit more about the creations for either people listening new or live, or people tuning in for part 2 of our extravaganza with AR comic books, The End is Pie, and also Craig's Coin Purse.
Yeah, so Another World Pizza is a augmented reality comic book. It's actually my 3rd augmented reality comic book. And so how it works is it's a physical book, and you can download the free app that's available now. It's available for Android and Apple. And so when you take your smart device and you hold it over the comic book, it actually brings it to life. So it's fully animated cover to cover. It has a dark synthwave soundtrack, and it has built-in video games. So there's a mini boss that's a shmup battle, and then there's a final boss that's a 2D platformer battle. And so the idea of the story is that there's a detective who's searching for a serial killer inside of an artificial world, like a metaverse, where AI has stolen everyone's face. So everybody's a skeleton. It's really easy to hide that way. And then the meta twist is that as you read it, the detective is actually you, the reader. And then the book sort of starts to react to you as if you are the detective, and it starts to like hide things from you. So you have to kind of like dig deeper into it. And part of what the AR app does is it turns your smart device into a scanner. So you can scan different panels, or like every panel in the book, and you can find ways to like dox different characters, or you can unlock secret pages, or you can find the video games hidden in the book and you can play them, and then that adds to the story. So it's kind of like this onion where like the more you peel it, the more and more layers there are. And there's also an option to vote in certain places in the book, and it sends the votes to me, and then the people that are the most popular choices will become the official thing that happens in the next book. So if you're one of the first people to read this, you actually influence where the story goes.
That's sick. I didn't even know that part.
Yeah, that's one of those things where there's so many things, and then some of them get buried. But yeah, I've been trying to tell people about that more.
I want to tell some folks about, just remind people about the whitelist and who's in, you know, depending on some of the NFTs you have, and maybe how do you get the golden version? How do you get access to that?
So yeah, the gold version is just going to be mixed in. So it's going to be, you'll have like a 15% chance to pull one when you mint. And the people that get, so there's OG people get an early access by 2 hours and they get a discounted mint. And then whitelist people get 1 hour early access. The whitelist is already closed. But people that are original holders of the Undead Drivers or the Neon Demons, or if you hold any of the pizza slices or any of the rides, get access to the either the OG if you're one of the first people that backed it back in like 21 or 22, or if you more recently purchased one, then you're going to be on the whitelist.
Awesome. Cool.
we
Well, I
go.
know
That's
I'm in.
great.
I got about like what is 10 different end of the world pizza NFTs. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Been ready.
Yeah.
Ready, locked and loaded.
Yeah, and all the original drivers are actually basically anyone who has a driver per wallet address, you get one airdrop. So I'm going to be team minting a bunch of them so that the drivers are going to be guaranteed to get one airdrop to them.
Ready for it.
Trying to get a tweet here out in 1 second. With
So
a
when-
PO app. So with that
Ooh.
PO app, that will give you entrance into possibly winning one of these for free.
Yeah, POAP time. So I saw like a very small glimpse of the spatial space that you have for your thing.
Yes.
It is like insane next level. I'm not sure. Were you going to be able to tease a little bit of that action or go into that at all? When is that happening?
So the spatial launch is going to be the same day as the drop. Well, hopefully I've been working with other people that have used it, and they said there might be a little bit of a delay. So I'm going to try to publish it early, but then reveal it on drop day. So it's been programmed for a while now. Basically, I just have like images of it. I mean, I could run it on my computer, and we could see if I could stream it. But I have a feeling that the internet gods are not going to make that easy.
It'll be worth the wait.
I can screen share an image of it if you want.
Sure, if you want to. I mean, it's really sick. It's like I think it was pretty much built in Unreal, so it's got that Unreal quality. But I don't know. I just haven't seen anything like that made before inside of
Holy
in
Hanna-Barbera.
spatial.
So the top
Like, look at
one
this.
is the spatial, and the bottom two are other ones that I was sort of playing around with before where you could actually fly the car. But yeah, these are actually done in Unity, which is what spatial runs on. So in the top image, you can see there's a car with yellow wheels. You can actually drive that car. And then there's the pizza shop to the left, and then in the background there's the Arcade of the Dead, where right now there's like a mini game here where you can collect, if you find the 5 VHS tapes, you get a demo of the comic book. But eventually the Arcade of the Dead's going to host other arcade games that will be playable. Unfortunately, I didn't get those done yet, but that's the goal, is in the future to add arcade games.
It's so sick. It's the colors and it's like really brought the whole aesthetic to life, which is so cool to see in 3D, of course. So I cannot wait to jump in that too. You have everything. You have every single thing that anyone could possibly want.
Yeah,
and there's nothing that you don't have.
Yeah, as soon as I found out that I could do a spatial, actually I don't know if you guys know Cyberverse, but Brendan is a really great friend of mine, and he was like, yo, you got to check this out. Spatial, it's Unity. And I'm like, I know Unity, so I could do it. So yeah, that was like really awesome. And we're actually going to be having a little bit of a team up too, where Cyberverse is going to be connected to our metaverse, so you can sort of like jump between them.
Yeah, Brendan's awesome. He's been in the community since day one, so I'm so glad he's at the finish line as well.
At the finish line of it, and if you want to get in on it, about 10 minutes we'll have a POAP for you. I did release a couple out there. I took a picture of it so you could see what it kind of looks like. Or last week, we had a good about 3 dozen POAPs from people listening, watching. Last week we have a whole bunch of people watching in the Novoverse right now. Chaz, I would like to see you down there, my friend. Good to see you listening along. I know that AR filters are right up your alley. And JOC, nice to see you as well, my friend. Much love. Check your we're going to have POAPs in about 10 minutes, so hang around in 10 minutes. You can win one of these free AR comics right here. Craig, any questions, thoughts, ideas on this? Not to put you on the spot or JR Token, but I love what I'm hearing. Just like, here it is in spatial. You have it sharing within there. You can actually have interactive experience. You can drive the car around. You can see that car with the almost the flame wheels right there. This the expansiveness that you are accomplishing throughout your creative art throughout all of this is amazing.
I honestly can't wait to get the physical comic and start blasting it with the phone and going through the whole mobile experience. I'm so pumped for that. Like, I've been trying to plan out like where my comic table AR area is going to be. My
Nice.
son's not going to grab it and like rip a page out, and I'm going to freak out.
Wow.
I have to trap him in a room or something. My daughter would play with it though. She's ready.
Yeah, I'm ready to bust it out. I was actually digging around for through my comic books prior to coming on. I didn't want to be late for the show today, so I actually stopped what I was doing and digging through my prior books, seeing if I had an end of the world pizza book that I could pull out and show physically for everyone. But the mint date for everyone's coming up. You have the golden foiled comic that has a smaller mint run, because there's always variant covers in comic books, and that's what is awesome to see. Are you able to sign any of them? Are you going to have any signed covers on any of them, or are you going to keep any for yourself, keepsake for yourself, for family members, anything like that? Because I mean, it's got to be exciting for you and people around that helped build all this.
Yeah, so the drivers are going to get signed ones, and all the gold ones will automatically be signed and numbered because there's only 100. And I'm gonna mint like early for the team mint, but I'm also gonna have some for myself. So I'm gonna have at least have one of each, one gold and one standard for myself.
Got to keep one for yourself. Yeah, I mean, keepsake standard right there. Sounds like I might be getting one right here with driver 33. I know JR Token has drivers out there as well. So super happy to be part of along with the journey and seeing the journey successfully, run all the way through. And, that's when the end is pie. And I'm going to play, let's see if I can pull it up here.
You got the trailer?
I have the trailer here. Might need to be replayed because I'm sure
you should totally play for anyone who missed it last week.
So yeah, whenever I hit the big screen. All right, so I know it wasn't going to be big screen. Now it's on the big screen. We'll get us out of the way here to the side, like the Brady Bunch. You all can see it on the side here. If you're watching right now or not watching right now, you can watch up at the top. The first pinned tweet right there. I will show it, and I'll actually pin another tweet up there. Craig's Coin Purse is also, I believe, streaming this live. Let's see if I can get his up there as well. Yes, it is. A couple people watching it live there. A couple people watching it live in the Novoverse. Thank you for watching it live. Also on Twitter and on YouTube. All of those, you can find us. And without further ado, here is the trailer.
Didn't it like I have my own character, right? So it was my character, my driver, going to appear in this in the first?
Yeah, so your character is actually part of the menu system. He's one of the characters that greets you when you go into your inventory and all that stuff.
Oh, that's freaking amazing. I love that. So cool. Like that's the thing is like I can't wait to see what the PFP that I got minted 2 years ago is gonna now start living in this world, and I get to see it in 3D and all these different aspects. It's awesome. It's been such a fulfilling ride. Well, it will be when I get my hands on it, which is soon. So I cannot wait.
And that's the whole fun of it, is having that in your hands, seeing what each driver does, what JRR token is going to do within that, and actually the fulfillment, like you're saying, the follow through with what the roadmap promise was with the NFTs, and following the storyline with it, from claiming your driver to seeing the different events, as gaining the comic book, getting the AR filter, enabling t-shirts, hats, stickers that are going to be coming out, metaverse gaming experience as well, which is spatial, which we just were able to take a gander with. If you're listening right now, we're going to be giving away a POAP in about 4 or 5 minutes. That POAP will instantly enter you into possibly winning one of these end of the world, the End is Pi NFT comic books, which is an AR filter, and it will comes with a physical comic books that you use your phone, and all of a sudden it pops out, and you'll be seeing a little bit more than meets the eye.
I think a little bit more. Be blasted into another dimension.
How long did it take to do the art on this? I mean, I was just thinking of just the trailer alone. I mean, I couldn't do, and it would take me years and years to do that. You're piecing it together, digital art from, pretty much AR filters, from, video games, from your comic book. I mean, what other mediums do you use that you pulled? One, to make your filter, or one, to make the trailer, excuse me, but two, that encompasses the whole storyline. I mean, it's not just a comic book where it's just pages and ink. It's more than that. So, I mean, what mediums does it transfer through?
So it's built inside of a game engine, and it's built into 3D. Like, so in order to build this within the time that I did and have the level of animation and the level of content, I built the characters in 3D. And so that like informs a lot of what the comic book is built on. And then it also informs how the animation works. And then the video game aspect of it is actually totally separate. Like, all the assets in the video games are totally separate. It's pixel art. So that's a little bit different. Like, I knew that, and the reason I did that is because I knew that if I'm going to have all this content on your phone, plus I'm going to have games, I can't have it be like a full 3D game with it being like satisfying to play it. So I was like, all right, I'm going to make the games 2D so that I can actually make them a little bit bigger and then still fit them in this package. So that's why I went with pixel art. So yeah, I mean, it's essentially it's built in 3D and then it's put inside of a game engine. And so there's filters and there's shaders, and all that stuff adds to the effect of building these kind of animations and then bringing them into interactivity. It's all like works together that way.
You're saying game engine. It looks like of Duck Hunt for one version of the game, right here. If you're watching live, where you're almost like hunting down like bat, zombie, skeleton type things. And then there's another one that's like, it's almost like Contra in a sense.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Contra. That's exactly what that was. Yeah.
The boss battle, yeah. You gotta have the giant boss head with the 2 giant fists. Like that's just a classic boss battle. Yeah, so it's like all that stuff's custom programmed in. Some of it, like the shooting gallery, uses your phone's gyroscope, so that's actually like right into the comic. But the shmup and the boss battles they're like standalone, so you actually can put the comic book down. You don't have to be holding your comic book and playing this game, because that would just be like awkward and weird. So when those sequences kick on, it basically just turns into a mobile game for a little bit, and then whether you decide to complete the boss or leave, there's a way out of it. So it's not like it forces you to stay until you beat it, but if you do beat them, you get like little additional Easter eggs, and it unlocks other stuff in your menu, so that when you go back to the comic, there's other things happening. There's 4 different covers you can unlock. So there's like the first cover you get is an animated cover, and then that has a way to open it. And then there's 2 other things that you can unlock on the cover if you go back to it after reading the comic book. So there's like a lot of like replayability and rereadability, I guess you could call it too, where like there's stuff hidden throughout the book. So it really just keeps giving more stuff to you the more you sort of explore it.
It's an Easter basket full of Easter eggs, or you're saying you can keep exploring it. End of the World Pizza also streaming this live. A half dozen people watching from there, so dozens and dozens of people watching. Hop in, watch what we're talking about. One mic's coming out through. You're going to be hearing the creator of the End of the World Pizza, Rob. Also, Craig from Craig's Coin Purse, and also J.R.R. Tokens, all coming out of this wonderful voice, this CryptoPunk head that you're seeing up here in Spaces. But we are watching this live, and you can claim that POAP. Claim that POAP right now. And you can claim that POAP. You have to get into POAP there, and you have to enter in a word. I always forget if it's a password, a secret word. Token always knows these things. He's like a walking Wikipedia. Secret word. Right? I was clicking on my POAP right now to see what it was actually called. So you can go down into the mint area down there, and it's a secret word, and it's going to be start with a capital N for Novo. Capital N, lowercase O-V-O for Novo. I was going to try to do the same password as last week. They wouldn't let me. I didn't want to think of anything too difficult for anyone listening out there, because I wanted to get these things distributed so you can enter in and get a POAP. Ghost Crypto, I saw you just entering in right now. Perfect timing for you. You can enter in a POAP.
So is that it? Just code, capital N, Novo? That's it, just Novo.
Yes, that's it. That's all you need to get that POAP down there. And this POAP is actually a little GIF, and it actually moves in your wallet, and it actually has the mint date for Friday, October 20th. But that also can give you entrance into winning a free comic book.
Cool.
Maybe what we're going to do, and we haven't really formally said this, so maybe this could be a live business meeting here. Rob, feel free to add or adjust anything you want, but maybe we'll just take all the POAP collectors, and maybe we'll just put them in a wheel and spin them and just show it off that way, and get people to hype it up. And if you don't, or you're listening to this later, because the POAP window is open for about 30 minutes, visit me on FriendTech. I'm dropping POAP passwords in there, or clickable links in there, so you can just click the link and claim the POAP there, and also in Discord. So both of those, any of those, or just DM me. I'm happy to give them out. I want to distribute it, but I want to give people time to get in and enter. So if you're listening to this later tonight or tomorrow morning on record, or if you're watching it on many Twitter handles or X handles, or YouTube, Twitch, it's in Twitch. We're streaming this all over the place because it's coming full circle. Showing off multiple things here, helping out good friend Rob, creator of End of the World Pizza, and saw him making the circuits. He was on Macroverse this week. He's out there. I want to say boots on the ground, but AR filter, stream waves, getting the voices out there. And then also, which we're going to be transitioning shortly here to Craig at Craig's Coin Purse, because same thing with the PFP behind him as well, is showcasing what's the new art that's being expressed through these connective means, and being able to showcase it here in the Novoverse. Please feel free to retweet this room, because we're giving away that free POAP. It's capital N, and then it's lowercase O-V-O for Novo, just like Crypto Nova there. If you forget it, it's just that middle part in there. It's capitalized right there on my Twitter handle. And we'll go around the room to reset it again. Rob, how about a quick little intro? We'll popcorn it over to Craig, and then JRR Token.
An intro to my project?
Yeah, no, just a little intro about yourself, just to reset the room, because we've talked about your project, and just the free POAP that we're giving away right now, and a free comic book.
So yeah, I'm the creator of End of the World Pizza. It's an augmented reality comic book, cartoon, and video game all wrapped in one. I'm an artist and programmer, and you can follow me on the Endless Pie.
And we've been this is the second part of 2 that we had on last week, following the journey. But I mean, I think, Token, we must have talked about, I know we had Rob on prior, but we must have talked about End of the World Pizza, I don't know, within our show, maybe 2 dozen times.
Yeah, absolutely. We did this 2 years ago when the drivers were coming out. We were freaking out just about the drivers, not about we didn't even have a sneak peek yet at the AR comic. That was at the end of the roadmap of like, we were, these were the highs of NFT craziness. And I was like, you know what? You want something really sick that's really unique? Is this non-generative collection of PFPs called drivers, and they're going to link you up into this crazy world. And well, you said you listened to me, which was smart.
Yes, yes.
And what's incredible is that was 2 years ago, and now we're really at the end of the journey where the comic's ready. It's going to be minting on the 20th. Access for people who have drivers, who have pizza slices, who've been on this crazy, awesome community of ours, and then others are also welcome in. So this whole roadmap's finishing off. It's not just the AR comic that you're interacting with and get, but I guess you're if you're lucky enough, you'll get this insane gold version. But there's going to be metaverse as well. So hopefully, if everything's running on track, that metaverse opens up on the 20th too. So
That's right.
Can't wait. Looks
That's
sick.
That's the voice of J.R.R. Token. That's J.R.R. Token NFT. I listen to him because that's where my alpha comes from. The same reason why I have Craig on here for the alpha that he's going to be dropping with Friend Tech. But get those POAPs, because the POAP claim is NOVO, or you can get it on Friend Tech. I dropped a whole bunch of links within Friend Tech as well. There's a tweet up there at the top. And also, send out the prior tweets with the links to End of the World Pizza, OpenSea, that has the minting that will be available this Friday. But you can get yourself a free comic book just by entering NOVO with a capital N for that POAP. Craig, what do you think of all this action, this AR filter? You heard a little bit about it last week. You see all these AR filters in front of you. The alpha that I'm pulling from my friends here, this is what it's about, man. We're streaming. We talked in Friend Tech about streaming capabilities. Do you ever think it was going to be exposed with high-end AR filters like this?
No, that's what I was thinking about when Rob was showing that sort of metaverse he was building before and the graphics with it. I was like, how cool is it to see artists be able to get their hands so dirty like this? Where I suspect in the past, before NFTs and things like that, like I come from a background, I suppose, of being a collector, not the artist. So it's interesting to see this unfold. But how cool, like I was saying before, how cool to see the artists be able to connect with their direct community so much more effectively now versus in the old days. I think of artists that I loved, and there was no way for me to get near them unless they personally came to a Comic-Con in Atalino, which was cool, but This is so much better. And then not just that, but the way Rob gets to build out a universe that's, I'm going to guess, very personal and that he's very passionate about. Definitely his baby versus under the banner of, say, Marvel, DC, and all that, which would be fantastic. But to have something like this that's his baby that he's grown since, well, you guys collected it in, I think, 21, it must be pretty surreal for him to see this come this far. And I say that as well because so many other projects, NFT projects, just never. If we had a checklist of who hit their roadmaps, Jesus Christ, I wouldn't for advertising for the space, would it? No one would be here. But look, I'd like to also say on behalf of all those that collect NFTs, thanks, Rob, for actually doing what you promised for the holders. It's people like you that are that are going to give people like me confidence again in the market, because I was here when it was, everybody was getting, felt like everyone was getting rich and we're getting all these promises, and then it kind of 95% didn't happen. So we're going through a bit of a tough time at the moment market-wise, but it's awesome that someone, like yourself has just stuck to it and honoured that collection. And, I'm guessing you could have very easily gone, oh, well, that phase is over or whatever, and on to the next, a lot did. But yeah, thank you, man.
Not to cut you off, on top of that, all right, well, we're going to make gold edition variants on top of it. You could have taken that and just pocketed the money,
On top of that, here's the even crazier part, is that he's like a really lean team, like 1.5, 2 people of a team to do the animation, all the art for all the drops, to do the smart contract minting, to coordinate, to manage the Discord, to do the augmented reality development, to do the coding of the apps for Android and for Apple, for iOS, and to do a metaverse, and to do the actual fabrication of the physical comics, and to do the drop on OpenSea's new drop platform. And there's people who are putting tons of money into teams of 12 to 25 people, and they cannot get, why? That's exactly why, because they wasted all that money on 10 to 25 people and they just needed Rob. And he'll just do it. Just give him all your money.
I'll just
everyone.
He'll get you to the end of your roadmap. My God, the guy does pretty much everything almost single-handedly, and completed the mission. It's pretty insane. That's what's crazy.
Us as fans, Token, have just been able to go along for the ride the whole time, where we're able to actually reach out to him and just being like, hey, what's going on? It's I just need a little bit more time with the physical comic book because I want it perfect. All right, perfect. And then able to come on the show, talk about it. He was in my Macroverse earlier this week. I saw him streaming on YouTube there. I don't know if that was Tuesday or Wednesday. So really getting the word out there, really following through with what the fans want, and that's what they want is exactly what he promised, and that's what he's following through with. I want to say what's up with some friends down there as well. Ghost, I see you. Ghost Crypto putting up the hearts and the love for that, for people following through in the crypto space. And that's what's going to revitalize this area. We already have 11 POAPs claimed. Feel free to claim them. That gives you entrance into the a chance to win one of these comic books. Probably the highest end style of comic book that you can get. We had 28 mints from last week. Let's beat that number. We need some more retweets of this room. So retweet the room. There's some tweets up there with, if it's myself, Craig's Coin Purse, if it's End of the World Pizza, all streaming the same video that you can watch us talking about this. And you can also win that POAP. And that POAP, from that POAP, I'm sorry, the POAP is free, but from that POAP, you can win a comic book. Fred Coin Purse, let's talk a little bit about your background there. What are you sporting behind you there? Because that is linked to someone in Friend Tech, correct?
Yeah, that's a artist friend of mine. He's Slander. He's I've known him in the NFT space a wee while, and he's just pumping out the Friend Tech / Peppy memes. So he's one of my holders. Once again, Slander is who he is on Twitter. But just a cool guy who's just pumps cool art out. So I thought today, maybe instead of having my Gucci ape in the background, I'd get one of his insanely cool. Yeah, there we go.
We'll give him some product placement here. You know what? Look at this. We'll give him a follow. Look at that. That's how Friend Tech works right there. Amen. Able to stream, get in there, and just helping people out. This reminds me of Tick. The Tick comics.
That's right. Yeah, Tick is great.
Yeah, so that's what gives me a smile, and I'll look into it, and helping support another artist, and pulling some more information. A friend of yours is a friend of mine, Craig. So thanks for that, that friendly handshake, that friendly torch pass there.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So what's new in FriendTech this week compared to last week? Where are the numbers at? Hold on, I got to pull out my numbers here because I actually write these down because this is my weekly catch up with what's going on in the FriendTech world outside of just DMing friends who are in my messages there.
Yeah, so a bit of a FriendTech weather report. The week that was, I think for the casual user or the person looking for up only, you'd call this probably the boring part. Sort of the market cap's been sort of crabbing sideways since we last spoke. It's effectively the same, maybe slightly down. Its all-time high was 52 million, and we're sitting at 44 now, and just consolidating now. So now we're just doing that crabbing sideways. Actually, just about a stable coin at the moment. Which will possibly frustrate or bore some people. I mean, God, it's only been 7 days been crypto. That's about a decade, isn't it? So yeah, it's funny on the timeline when I hear people going on about it, like, dude, it's been 7 days since all time high. As far as other things, we had our points drop. Obviously, there's a snapshot every Thursday. I think it's 12 midnight UTC is the snapshot. Thanks to William for that bit of information from Onlyforce. So long story short, they sort of the team tweaked how the points drop, how the values were weighted. So that they sort of nerfed the portfolio value, and they increased the weighting for how many keys you actually hold and how many people hold you. So I thought that was a nice little interesting change of pace. So sort of, I suppose, rewarded those that hold a lot of keys, but it wasn't so much on the value of the key that mattered. So even people supporting smaller people got a good return on that. So saw about a 7% decrease in portfolio value points, but an increase in those that hold more keys. So that was
Do you
nice.
think that's a way of helping distribute? Because it kind of seems like sometimes the higher end of things kind of maybe circulate more, and then maybe having that waterfall effect or that trickle down effect sometimes is in the economic system. Is that what they're trying to do? Distribute more to the
yeah. I think they just want to put even out distribution, and like you said, I suppose, the portfolio value that definitely caters to whales. People with big money are going to get the most points, but it was nice to see the team knock that back 7%. And sort of give it to those that just, it didn't matter what the value was. So look, I think the team, the way I see them moving as far as the strings they pull, it's not always in favor of the whales, which I like. It gives us peasants at the bottom a little bit of rain we can catch and drink, I suppose. But it was just a nice tip of the hat, I thought, from the team. One of the more interesting things I wanted to bring up was the new users that are just going ballistic. When we spoke this time last week, it's up 160,000 users, so 524,000 users now. So yesterday, 75,000 joined versus 15,000 the day before, on average the week prior. So yesterday was 3x the average of the week before. So there's a massive amount of new users coming. The interesting part about that is there's a massive increase in users.
I had 36,000 on October 8th, 36,000 users on October 8th. And you're saying right now there's 524,000 now?
Correct, total.
Holy bananas. You're not kidding.
It's a big number. And if you look at the chart of new users, it's that. So it's there's a lot of people signing up. The interesting part about it will be that the fact that the market cap of the TVL isn't increasing.
Is not increasing?
No. So the market cap's crabbing sideways, but new users is going like that. Now this is obviously speculation by myself.
So it's no new money coming in, but new users. So
correct.
They either found a new bot or a new region that doesn't have any money.
I think what you're going to find is it's farmers getting in place.
Yeah.
They're getting in position. They're not bringing their money yet. And the interesting thing about that is Paradigm is the major investor in both Blur and FriendTech. And the Blur season 2 airdrop or season 2 ends 20th of next month. November 20th, that ends. So that farming period ends. So what a lot of us are starting to think is these new users are farmers getting in place. And we also suspect once November 20th hits, money will be transferred from Blur to Frentech. So we're thinking, or a lot of people I'm speaking to, myself included, we'll probably have a crab sideways, probably another, it'll be anywhere between 2 and 4 weeks. 4 weeks probably too late because I think Wales will front run. Or try to, or people will move prior. But I think you could see a pretty big pump when the whales feel like they've got an opportunity to take money from one area into another bucket, which is small, and overflow it. So it's even though, like I said at the start, it could be considered a boring period. For me, myself, someone who looks at the data and what's happening behind the scenes, it's what I love seeing that stuff. And once I worked out when the airdrop for Blur, or the season 2 ended, that I was like, yeah, okay, Jack, but I kind of feel like I know what they're doing. I may be wrong, so don't sell your house and go on this.
The money's moving, and if you're here before them, then just sit tight right now.
Yeah,
it seems like.
Yeah, and one of the things that I think is a real positive is that when these farmers bring their money here, they're going to have to buy up a lot of keys, right? Because that's where the point weighting's going. Also, they can't buy their own. So a couple of weeks ago, the team completely nerfed anyone holding their own keys. You got almost no points for it. So what that did, or showed me, was the team was making sure that farmers couldn't come in, buy all their own keys with their money and just themselves profit, right? So now they're kind of forcing the whales or the farmers, when they come to the platform, they're going to have to distribute that ETH and or money throughout the whole ecosystem, effectively lifting all the boats. So, you know, for people like me, that's pretty exciting, because I kind of feel, right, I'm just going to park my boat up, and you don't have to put in a lot of money and just wait for that massive swell, which it looks like it's going to come. They're going to want somewhere to put their money, and this is just too easy for them, and it's the same investors. So I'm excited to see that the sideways crabbing of the market cap or TVL doesn't concern me at all. And in fact, the fact it didn't plummet is extremely bullish. It's just sitting. So, usual scenario, whales will bring massive liquidity, and then retail will mostly FOMO in after and potentially get wrecked. So I guess what I'm saying is there's a big opportunity to jump the queue, put a little bit in, and from that little bit you put in now, you may get a healthy return.
Do you think this has anything to do with the timing of what the known announcement, though it's not in 100% detail, of the first of the year type of stuff, where there is going to be larger type of liquidity airdrops? Is there any, you think that's what they're doing, is right now they're testing the waters in November, because at the end of December is kind of the 2-month balancing point to probably hopefully get that big home run at the around the first of the year type thing?
Yeah, exactly right. I was speaking to a guy yesterday, Scarp3, who I'll give a shout out to as well, who was chatting to me about a lot of the Blur farming data, and he was the one that kind of alerted me to the fact. Also, the look of the Blur chart, the TVL, and the Frentech chart is pretty close to identical. The movement. I should have. I regret not being able to screen share it right now, but basically the are moving like this, and then on top
next week, bring it in next week, because another thought on that is, like, with all of these, like, even going back to, gating rare coin, because I've been it's like those things spike like a mother goose, like the week after, but then it drops dramatically. And I've always been in the one that's just like, this is free money, just cashing this bad boy out right now. We'll see what happens. Rinse, repeat. And now it's just like pretty much wrapping CryptoPunks and selling CryptoPunks at a discount to get that 10, 20, 30% rare coin. But, you have to pay taxes on. If you're listening right now, you can get a POAP for free just by typing in capital N and then lowercase OVO in POAP, or you can DM me. There's a bunch of them in my friend tech as well. That's all pinned up there at the top. So we can all get friendly here. We are talking friend tech, ebbs and flows of what happened between last week, what is currently happening, and also the future. That's almost all in the same sentence with what is happening with an increase of users of around 170, 164,000-ish within a week. But the actual money liquidity within those pools has not increased that much yet. Emphasis on yet. There again, none of this is financial advice. Remember, you are listening to someone with a clown nose, big shades, and an AR filter right here. To kind of reset the room, you can watch us all live. AR filter with Rob Shields with a minting that is coming out on this Friday. And that's what the POAP is celebrating, a chance to win one of them. JRR token. With his AR filter, always computing. Surprised he doesn't have carpal tunnel with those wrists constantly in action, typing away. And then also Craig from Craig's Coin Purse, investor, dabbler, collector, and then also my friend Tech guru to give me the alpha in the space. So what else, Craig? What else we have on tap with this weather report? What's our 5-day forecast? What's our weekly? What is our monthly? Is it an El Nino effect? What's going on?
I think for the next, like I said, couple of weeks, we'll just see it crabbing sideways. I have a lot of people sort of ask me whether they're late now, they feel late to enter now. I would say you're not, but due to the Blur season 2 ending, obviously in about 4 weeks, I would say you've got about 2 to 3 weeks to set your trap, right? Or to paddle out to where you think the swell is going to occur. Another interesting thing I just wanted to bring up that I think is quite important, I may not have mentioned it last week, but the team have committed to X amount of obviously points dropped over the time period. I think it's 100 million. They change each week how many points are distributed. Now, what we're finding at the moment is the lion's share hasn't been distributed. So I think what they're going to do, and it makes sense, is they're going to wait later more heavily. And that's obviously going to stop people from trying to exit their portfolios sooner than the team would like. So there's not a massive drop in portfolio value. So I think what you may even find is the last week of FinTech, the points allocation or distribution at that time could be humongous, to keep people hooked or there, or the farmers there anyway.
You know what I really like about this? Like here in the States, we have problem with inflation rates, changing this, changing that. Like this is almost like a course in like microeconomics of how you can change variables to change user flow based on whatever. They find a problem in the system because of X, Y, or Z. All right, people are buying their own keys too much. All right, you can find a way to solve it. All right, these aren't real humans in it. There's a way to solve it. These people are collecting this because they're farming it with each other with this type of antics. There's a way to solve it. And they can keep on modifying it to keep that user engagement. And that's what we're talking about, the modification of it every single time. That might just be a perfect circle here for the last minute to claim that POAP, capital N, lowercase OVO, that POAP. You got 1 minute for it if you're listening or if you're watching. And if you're watching or listening later, just hit me up, shoot me a DM, and we'll find a winner out of the POAPs that have been collected from either last week's show or this week's show. I don't know. Anything else for the good of the order here, friends? If not, we might wrap it up. So we still got some claims coming in on the POAPs. We got 12 claimed this week. We are just right around that 40 to 50 range. So keep on getting those POAPs claimed here.
Yeah, I just keep thinking about how much I want End of the World Pizza, like the series now is like a full-blown anime. I'm like, where are we going? Why stop at just an AR comic book game experience? And whatever, go for the full-blown,
show,
series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever? Is that a dream? Is that an aspiration, Rob, of yours at all, or
I mean, yeah, I would
stick to-
definitely. I would be more interested in like a short animated show, like almost like Eon Flux, where it's like the like they had longer episodes, but they had certain episodes that were only like 6 minutes, and then she just died at the end of all those episodes. Like that was badass.
Yeah, I love those. That Liquid, what was it? Liquid TV.
Liquid Television, yeah.
Liquid Television, and yeah, Eon Flux was Tom Chung is the illustrator behind
I
that,
think that's right.
and he did. He also did Rugrats, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, right.
Original
What?
creator of Rugrats
Yeah,
is
that
the
makes
same
sense.
creator of Eon Flux.
Yeah. You blow my mind.
I swear.
They need to have a crossover. That would be
I
just,
think
it'll
I'm
start off like
pretty-
a regular
I'm almost-
episode of Rugrats, and then it'll just go
Yeah,
crazy.
I'm
Yeah,
almost
it's not me, man.
positive.
People are dying and
I'm
blood
correct.
everywhere.
That the creator of Eon Flux is the creator of Rugrats. Yes, look it up.
That was worth tuning in for just for that.
Yeah.
I hope everyone stayed till the end. That's blown my
Yeah.
mind.
I was today years old when I learned.
And then
Yeah,
he
well-
did what was the Alexander? It was the Alexander series, which was pretty crazy, like Alexander the Great. It's like a really bizarre late night, like Adult Swim thing, but it was super cool too. Anyway,
I did
all right,
not.
we'll get you your short form anime series is the next goal on the roadmap, future roadmap.
I
There
mean,
we
yeah,
go.
there's lots of things already on the future roadmap.
That's true.
Let's mint it out on this Friday. We'll have a spin wheel or some way of notifying who wins the free comic book from having the PO app. We might even, I don't know, we might even link it into to something even more here. So let us know if you need that PO app, because I can send that out to you. We will be back next Sunday, fun day. I know Craig will be back if he can make it. Love to have him back.
Thank you, guys.
And we'll might be pivoting to some new news here in the space for Crypto Novo, but we'll just save and slowly leak that out throughout the time between now and next week. Want to thank once again JRR Token for tuning in, giving us the alpha, especially the wonderful Jeopardy knowledge. The same person who created Eon Flex is the same person who created Rugrats.
Or at least the intro of Rugrats, perhaps. Could be just the intro of that.
That'll do, though. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm giving you credit for everything, my friend. And I'm also giving you credit for showing me Rob's awesome work from day one. And it kind of I shouldn't say seems weird, but the projects that we followed, it's weird. The ones that we have followed, Token, have always had a pretty successful roadmap. If it's the clones,
Well, what did we do? Our research, I guess they say. Okay, good.
And a lot of that is just actually talking to the people who create it. So, Rob, thank you for being available, at least available to us. I know you're going to be super busy between now and mint date. I know you have a team mint that you'll be able to mint on the 13th, an OG mint on the 20th, the whitelist minting on the 20th, and also the public minting on the 20th at 3 different time frames, depending on where you are. You can get on the whitelist within the Discord. I don't want to say the times because all the times are central time zones, so they'll be different for you depending on where you're at. And I don't want you to get confused with the conversion there, but please head over there. You can check out at OpenSea, End of the World Pizza. There's a hyphen in between each world and comic. It is awesome. I mean, you
can also just go to endoftheworldpizza.com. That's the easiest way. And that links to the OpenSea. Like, this is the OpenSea page, but it's hard to remember. It's just too many things. So just go to endoftheworldpizza.com, or you can just Google End of the World Pizza, and we're the top search result.
And there we go. It's right there. And Craig, thank you for the info on what's going on with Friend Tech. I've been in there pretty much consistently an hour every night when I have that free time at night after, all my duties around the house and my normal 9 to 5, but I am in there diving around, and it kind of seems like it's going on on the proper path, because I'm seeing right now art made from behind you from friends in the space. You know, I mean, talk about product placement right there. You know, now it's just on a live stream for about an hour, just, you know, helping other friends out. Very similar to, you know, helping friends out, getting their comic book distributed. So I want to thank all my aliens, apes, and zombies, all my friends who are listening out there. Corey, much love. Keep on keeping on, keep on rapping. And that's it from Crypto Novo. To everyone
Thank
else
you.
out there, stay positive.
Thanks,
and love.
everybody.
Thank you.
Peace.
Peace.
Out. Later.
Video, but
Is that it? Hey man, are we still on? Can you hear me?
that's it. Stay positive and love life. Rob, I'll send you that Poe app. Peace.
Thanks, man.